Hello, Fearless Fam. This is your host, Chubby, and welcome to episode 99. Can you believe it? We've made it. We made it, and it was all thanks to you. Thank you for always being there and just giving your feedback, just giving me how you feel, giving me all the love and all the support throughout 2 years. This podcast has been going on for 2 years, 99 episodes, and I cannot be more grateful that we have talked about every single episode topic out there. I mean, you name it. Obviously, there's some that we have not done on purpose, and I could mention a few, like abortion. We purposely did not want to talk about it. But anyway, we digress. Thank you everyone for joining us on this 99 episode. And before we move any further, as you already know, the cat is out of the bag. We're having an 100th episode celebration in person or virtually. If you can't make it, it's okay. Virtually, we could make that possible for you to join us. And again, thank you so much. But yes, Fearless Fam, to continue the episode, today is a level 5 elephant. We're going to be talking about retirement. And I'm not talking about, let's go get a 401k and all of that stuff. I'm going to be talking about why do we need it, who invented it, and who says you need to be 40 to 50 to enjoy your life. Why can't we start now? In your early 30s, in your 20s, Let's rewrite the rules. Let's rewrite how our generation is going to spend the next, 50, 60 years of the rest of our lives. So, what is retirement? Retirement refers to the time of life when one chooses to permanently leave the workforce behind. The traditional retirement age is 65 in the United States and most other developed countries, many of which have some kind of national pension or benefit system in place to supplement retirees' incomes. So basically, if we go with the traditional work jobs like 9 to 5 or whatever job it may be, that's what they're referring to. But what if, like other people that we know, they work on their artists, and you don't actually have a 9 to 5, a 8 to 4, or whatever your schedule may be, an overnight shift, a grave shift, if you're working quote unquote for the government or any type of those jobs. What if you just make stuff work, you're a full-time artist and that is your job? Obviously, that's less straining on the person because you're working for yourself. You're doing things that you love to do and you don't have to go based on a schedule, on someone else's time, on anyone else's time clock or anything of that nature. So that's where I have a problem with, because in the United States, let's read of how the retirement came to be about, okay? Let's go first on that. So bear with me, Fearless Fam, because it's going to be a lot of information, a little brief history, because we need to know how all this came about, okay? So retirement, or the practice of leaving one's job, right? Or ceasing to work after reaching a certain age, has been around since the 18th century. Retirement as a government policy began to be adopted by countries during the late 19th century and the 20th century. Here's more history. In his 1905 valedictorian address to the Johns Hopkins Hospital, the eminent Canadian physician William Osler expressed his conviction that a man's best work was done before he was 40 years old, and that by age 60 he should retire. He called the ages between 25 and 40 the 15th golden years of plenty. Workers between the ages of 40 and 60 were tolerable because they were merely uncreative. But after age 60, the average worker was useless and should be out to pasture. This does remind me of one of the episodes that we did about the elderly people, not able to get jobs or whatever, even if they wanted to work. But then again, that's how having retirement works. You know, your pension, your this, 401k. If you haven't worked enough, if you work too little, you can't get it. There's certain things that, in order for you to even have this quote unquote retirement where you don't work again and you could live fine and have the money coming in and you don't have to worry about certain things. Again, a lot of things come with that in order for you to be quote unquote comfortable in your elderly age. So continuing to read more history. Retirement as a concept began to widely adopt in the United States after the period of the Industrial Revolution, where numerous aging factories workers began to show signs of aging, slowing down assembly lines, taking excessive sick days, and usurping the spots of more youthful, more profitable men with families to bolster. Also, older workers brought out unemployment among the youthful population by declining to resign. The Great Depression exacerbated things. Though retirement was viewed by some as an essential adjustment, many among the older populace resisted the idea of retirement. I personally believe that, okay, great. If you want to work into whenever, that's fine. Some people feel useful that way. And like I mentioned in my other episode about the elderly, that helps with the brain, that helps them be happy, stay healthy, because they're working on something that they love or is giving them a purpose to continue whatever they want to do with their lives. But some elderly, they just either stay at home with nothing to do and they have no aspirations, no anything, and then they just become more depressed and they have nothing to look forward to. So in that part, I get it why if you want to work whenever the hell you want. But in the other part, in order for us to quote unquote get these benefits at the end of our 40 years, like after you start working, you're turning 50 and then, oh, maybe I could get retirement. Waiting till you're 60 to get retirement or a comfortable living life at the end of all that working, I just feel like why? Like, I find it to be disturbing. Like, I do not like it personally. Like, if I wanted to live a comfortable life now, obviously you have to work for it, but that's also another societal thing that we have to push through, because people that do not have a lack of a better word, a normal job, and they're full-time artists, musicians, or however they want to call it, they're looked down upon because you don't have a career, which in reality that is their career path, that is their choice, but it doesn't come with anything of the excessive things like the 401k, at the end, and your retirement money, your pensions, or whatever else you're getting. So that's another thing that it doesn't come with working for yourself, owning a business for yourself. But yes, that is a thing that they tell you. You have to work in order for you to reap what you sow. Like at the end of your working career, this is what you're gonna get, or depending on where you work, of course. But that is a thing that is instilled in you, that you have to work. If not, you're not gonna get anything. You're gonna be destitute, or whatever the case is. When you could work for yourself and still have a nice living, I want to live my life now. Like, this is what this episode is about, the whole retirement aspect. Like, I want to live now. I want to be traveling everywhere. I want to be doing the things that I want. Of course, everything requires money. Everything requires this. But why is it so wrong to work for yourself, have your own business, and do it at your own pace and work or not work whenever you feel like it? Why do you have to just work and that's it? That's all you do with your life. You don't do anything else. That is personally a backwards thing. Like, we don't live in those times anymore. Right now, I know so many people that work for themselves, that are full-time artists, that have their own businesses, and that they could take breaks whenever they want. But obviously, they work hard. But to them, obviously, it's not work, because they're loving what they're doing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't come without the benefits that you will get if you were to work, and collect the benefits, every time. So yeah, that is the thing that I was thinking about, and that's why this episode came about, because I do not want that. I don't want the teens growing up now thinking that the only way for you to live your life is to only work and to just forget about living your actual life. Like right now, if we're in your 30s, mid 30s, and you have done nothing but work since you were, what, the youngest 16, what is there to do? What have you done with your life? Have you seen all the things you wanted to go see? The best way to do it is just save all the money for a little bit and plan it out and actually go do it. Work will be there when you come back, right? That's what we're hoping for. And with this pandemic, obviously, it has stopped us for so long, like, to do anything, to go out and to do whatever we wanted to do. But we had to make the most of it. And now that everything has been, more accessible, you're able to go out and do things, go do it. I get it that in order for you to want to live a calm life and not to have to worry about money when you're older, it's scary and it's a problem. But if you're gonna work for someone else, might as well work for you. Obviously, this doesn't work for everybody, because not everybody wants a business, or something like that, and they love to work, for a bigger purpose, and they like what they do, and that's perfectly fine, and that's great and dandy. But for the other people like myself, I want to be now in the moment, enjoying going out and visiting and traveling the places that I told myself that I was going to do. Gratefully, thankfully, I've been able to do that. But there are many people out there that cannot. Some live above their means, or they cannot even afford it because of the inflations and crappy pay. That's one of them too. And it's hard to get a job that wants to pay. We all been there, done that, and we don't want to go back there, right? So it's hard to live this whole dream, this whole retirement, this is what you're gonna need to do. So I'm gonna give you some retirement facts right now and see where we could go from there, and see, because it's not for everybody also. Like this whole, I personally, again, like I said, do not want to just work. I've been working with my photography for the last 13 years. I stop whenever I want and I start all over again, and very grateful that I have a home in Puerto Rico that I could go to whenever I please and live fine there. But many do not have that. That's very grateful for me. I'm very grateful for that. But what are we going to do about the rest of the population, the rest of the people? Okay, so here are some facts. So how are workers preparing for retirement? So 75% of workers aged 45 to 54 say they or their spouses have personally saved money for retirement. That is another stressful thing, saying, oh my God, I have to save. 48% of those workers aged 45 to 54 said yes when asked if they have actually performed a calculation to determine how much they may need. 41% of respondents aged 45 to 54 have saved more than $250,000 or more. 39 respondents 45 to 54 calculated how much will likely be needed for health expenses. 43% of respondents aged 45 to 54 plan for how to cover an emergency or big expense during retirement. But this is another thing. We're talking about only when you're older, but when you're younger, these emergencies do happen, and what happens then? Unfortunately, not many can have health insurance or Medicaid, but don't you get it after a certain age? So these expenses and these emergencies, that's the thing, that you have to prepare for all of these things. It's not just based on money, but obviously money is the root of everything. You need it for your health, just in case, like they said, an emergency happens. So thinking about that is so you're gonna work your whole entire life to then still have to save the money to still have to, just in case. And if you're a healthy elderly at that age, great. But if you're not and you have other expenses because of your health, yeah, it could become a very stressful, like, process of your enjoying your life as an elderly or as an older person, regardless, so they have to, I first personally believe that they have to change that mindset of how they're raising everybody and be like, you need to start saving now. If that's the case, this is how we're gonna do, these are the plans that we're gonna have, just so when you are at least 40, you don't have to worry about all of this, and you're really set. But when you start so late in life learning about retirement, learning about this, that's when it becomes a problem. I didn't learn about retirement when I was in high school, not even in college either. Nobody tells you this. It's like when you're now in your late 20s and they're like, oh, by the way, if you want to live a comfortable life and you don't want to struggle, this is what you're going to do. Again, like I stated earlier, when the older you are, the less likely you are to find work depending on what you want to do or what you do. So yes, I get it. It is stressful and you have to think about it. But again, we need to change the rules on when and how we could. I know somebody that has already retired and they're 40. They didn't have to wait 50 to 60. And guess what? They earned that because they learned how to manage their money. They learned how to manage the way that they wanted to live. And I feel like everybody deserves that opportunity. Obviously, it's not given to everybody, but what can we do? And talking about money, today's episode was sponsored by Divorce for Less. I know, shocking. But listen, I may not believe in marriage, but I do believe in an affordable way for you to get divorced. Like, who says it has to be a hassle? Do you need help filing your uncontested divorce? Don't know where your spouse is? Is there kids involved and some assets? Well, Divorce for Less can help and save you money in the process. They are located in the South Florida area, and you could locate them on Instagram right now at Divorce for Less, or you could give them a call at 305-482-1292. Also, please remember that Divorce for Less is not a lawyer service and cannot provide legal advice. Remember, Divorce for Less. I want to say thank you to our sponsors. Without them, I want to be able to also continue doing my episodes. Thank you so much. And to continue on this episode, we all have a plan of what we want to do when we get older, correct? Do we? I hope we do. And if you don't, start making one now. So then when you do get older, and if you have kids, start teaching them now. Because as the older you get, the more complicated things get, and our world is rapidly changing where we don't even know if our jobs are going to be stable the next month or the next week, because everything, inflation, the gas prices, everything is going up, and there's a lot of jobs out there right now, and everybody's looking for employment. Some already have their dream job, and that's awesome, but we need to figure out how we want to live the rest of our lives. Because if you don't want to struggle, if you don't want to go through it, like you have to figure out now is the time when you're able to actually do it. But do not go based on what these antiquated ideas are about what retirement should be for you. Again, I know a ton of people that are living the lives for themselves how they want to. They don't even have to worry about certain things. Obviously, health-wise, we all have to worry about it, because that is obviously one of the biggest things. If you're not healthy, you cannot enjoy your life. You cannot enjoy that retirement life of not having to worry about anything, and you're just living life to your standards. And that's where I wish for people to be, to enjoy the life that they want for themselves and how they want to live it, not how the government says or how anybody else says it. So let's start taking care of our bodies now. Let's start taking care of our finances, of, how we want to live. If you don't want to live in the United States, just move to a country that will make you happier, that will benefit you in so many ways. But we have to start thinking about how we want to live the rest of our lives without having to feel that pressure, of the struggle if we do not have the money saved, or we don't have money, or we haven't worked enough, or any of that. Thank you so much, Fearless Fam. Like, we made it to episode 99. I hope that this episode has made you think of, holy crap, what am I supposed to do? What am I going to do? Or am I living the life that I want for myself? Am I living that life? Can I make it? Like, are you doing the things that you need to do for yourself now? Can you tell yourself in 5 years where you're going to be at? You know, do you have a plan? You know, again, we need to, if money is what we need, hey, start, again, like I said, let's start making a plan. Let's start saving it now. But thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. This was a mini rant on the way there as well. Thank you, Divorce for Less, for sponsoring this episode again. And thank you for all the Fearless fam who have stayed this far. 2 years later, episode 99. I'm very excited for this. And as we posted already on our Instagram, we do have a 100th episode celebration in person. Or if you are in a different state and can't make it virtually, that is also available for you. And if you want to join us, it's a week from now on May 22nd on a Sunday. Let me know if you stay this far in the episode and you like what we do, you like us, and if you want to see our 100th episode, just let me know. Send me a DM on Instagram at No Filters No Fears. Let us know, or email me. I know Filters No Fears, at gmail.com. Just let us know. There is only 7 available physical spots, whoever wants to join. And again, just email me or DM me, and I will jot down your name and make sure that you get all the good stuff that's happening on the show. And yeah, we will see you all on our 100th episode. So stay fearless, everyone.